Brad Johnson here from johnson.audio, and today I want to kind of do a little bit of a mixing tip when it comes to balance. Now, in my previous video, I talked about the stereo image and the front to back, left to right, top to bottom. And in this one, I kind of want to talk about equalization when it comes to top to bottom, and then also really what you're listening for when it comes to frequencies. Because as I said in the previous video, not all frequencies are treated the same to our ears. We actually hear certain frequencies louder than others, and with that being said, we have to understand when we're missing frequencies, we lose the full bodiness of our song, whether it be the entire mix in itself or an individual instrument. Sometimes we do need to shave off frequencies in an instrument to make room for other instruments to live in that frequency area. But when it comes to, say, your full mix, when you represent all the frequency range, you actually have a full-bodied, big-sounding mix, because you can think of it that your body actually internalizes certain frequencies in certain areas. You know, low frequencies really rest in that groin and stomach area, anywhere from like 20 hertz to 250 hertz. The low mid-range, like 250 hertz to 2K, is really in that chest, throat area. 2K to 6K is really that presence in the face, and then anything above is that air. And when it comes to where we hear the most sensitively would be like in the 3.2K range, the presence, that area in the face. You could put a 3.2K sine wave against a 500 hertz sine wave at the same decibel level, and the 3.2 kilohertz sine wave will sound louder. And we're going to see that in this session. I'm going to jump into one of the songs that I just mixed for an artist, Joshua Noah Snell, and I'm using a ScreenFlow tester, so there will be a thing on there, watermark saying, you know, this is like a demo version or something. So I apologize for that. I'm seeing if this works for me, but that's a little side note. But yeah, so I just want to kind of show you what's going on with frequencies. I want you to really listen to what's happening when I get rid of certain frequencies, whether it be through a high pass, low pass filter, whether it be through, you know, band pass or a notch or whatever it is I'm going to show you with. And I want you just to listen to what is missing, just to kind of give your ears a little bit of a precursor. The mid-range is hard to make stick out. It's going to be really kind of more back in the speakers, while the presence area, like I said, the one that we hear louder, will actually stick out more. So when we get rid of that, you'll feel that the whole thing just kind of fall back. There won't be a lot of in-your-faceness with the mix. When we get rid of the mid-range, all of a sudden there's this like heart that's gone. And then when you high pass out the high frequencies, low pass out the high frequencies, high pass out the low frequencies, you'll feel the imaging shrink. So that's just kind of things to listen for. So I'm going to jump right into my session and get to it. All right, we're in my session, and I'm using FabFilter's Pro Q2 on the master bus. FabFilter Pro Q2 is probably my favorite plugin that I have. I use it on every mix. It's actually my first third-party plugin. If you needed one equalizer, this would be the one. So I'm just going to play this last section. It's very full, and just we're going to listen to it. And I'm going to start doing low pass and then high pass filtering to the mix, and just listen to how the imaging shrinks. So this is really going to be that top to bottom. So we're just going to go for it. Here we go. So listen to it in like how it feels in your belly. It's more of a feeling than it really is you hearing it. You just lose that. It's kind of that sub energy. I'm really not shaving off a whole lot. I mean, it is in context of, you know, missing those sub frequencies, but really I'm rolling out to about 43 hertz. So just kind of listen to that. Here we go. Missing something there. So good way to get sub information too, if you're working with maybe virtual instruments or whatever, is to actually lay in a sub bass underneath the bass guitar. I actually have that going on in this production where, you know, the bass guitar is playing its it's playing its notes, and I actually layered in a sub bass underneath it. So that way it extends that low end down. So that's just a little trick for you if you're working with things where, say, it is like virtual instruments and maybe you're not getting a whole lot of low end information. You can do that. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with the high end now. I'm not going to take off too much, but just enough for you to hear. So here we go. Yeah, so you can hear that. It's that energy that kind of lives above your head. It's gone, and it just makes it shrink a little bit. It's not something that's like super noticeable, but when you A/B it, I mean, it's there. You feel that shrink. So I'm going to do that with both the low end and the high end now. All right, so we have the idea of the low end, high end, how it really does extend the imaging. Again, you can use this trick not just for when you're arranging and trying to find things to fill out every area of the frequency range, but you can do this as a trick for, say, you have an arrangement that doesn't have a whole lot to it, and you want something to sound really big, say a vocal. You want to make sure that you're representing all of those frequencies. Obviously, you're taking up more space when you do that. So if you have a really dense mix, you don't really have that luxury as much, and you have to either carve out a lot out of other instruments to make stuff sit big in the mix, or you're just going to have to realize that you only have so much space. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do, let's see here, what are we going to do right now? Let's go and do the notch filtering. And this I just really want to show you for certain areas what happens when you get rid of, an area of the frequency spectrum. I'm going to do the mid-range first, and I want you just to hear, it's going to sound like there's no mid-range, but listen to where that mid-range is when I bring it back in. It's not like super in your face. It's actually more sitting back on the speakers. That's what you're missing. And then as we move forward and do other areas, you'll see that there's different characteristics with the frequency spectrum. So we're just going to go ahead and go for it. So notice that the voice stays pretty up front, but the guitars the guitars really kind of fall backwards. Snare kind of falls backwards. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do more of the presence area. So kind of like that 2K to, about 8K. And listen to what happens when you don't have this frequency spectrum represented in your sound. It's going to make everything really fall backwards, and you're not going to have stuff in your face. The voice will most likely disappear, and along with a lot of other stuff. So here we go. So, obviously we're taking out like the entire area, so it's going to sound weird, but really it's about listening to where you feel it and how it affects the entire, how it affects the way you're perceiving the sound. When you do that, there's like hardly any transients popping out at you. It just feels like the thing is just back. There's nothing present about it. And obviously that's the presence area. So, this is something you can think about when you're EQing. If something's too bright, look at this area. Don't sit there and try to take out the mid-range and stuff, because it's not really going to fix it. And, or something might not be bright enough. You can really do a little in this spot and get a lot result. It's easy to pop something out there. So just something to think about when you're mixing and using an equalizer. The last thing I'm going to do is use a bandpass filter. And I want to show you just kind of like that, the Fletcher-Munson curve, the thing I was talking about in the previous video, and just what I touched on with the idea that we don't hear frequencies the same, even if it's playing at the same level. And I'm just going to kind of show you how that works with the bandpass filter. You'll notice that, I mean, I'm obviously not boosting any gain here, but when I move around, you'll notice it just sounds louder in certain areas. So here we go. You can also hear how it sweeps in your body. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of that top to bottom kind of explanation to equalization and the stereo imaging. I hope that helps you, because I know that sometimes the equalizer can be one of those things where you see all these numbers, and you kind of understand it, and you know you're supposed to do a few things. You've seen some how-to videos, but really that the fundamentals of what's happening in the sound and how we're perceiving it can sometimes get lost in the mix, so to speak. And so I just hope that helps you. And yeah, leave me a comment below if it did, and if you have any questions. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Hit that subscribe button, and also make sure to hit that bell button so you get notified every time I upload a video. To all my other subscribers, I appreciate your continued support. Again, my name is Brad Johnson at johnson.audio, where I am just excited to help you along the recording journey. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.